First practice down, how'd it feel?
Pretty good. Feels good to be out here. First day down, like you just said. I'm just blessed to be out here, and I'm happy. And it was a good day.
What are your goals for the spring for you personally?
Stack days, really prove myself as a leader on this team, be consistent, and just kind of help the young guys come along.
Do you see the future at right tackle?
How would you characterize your season last year? Just coming in as a transfer, trying to learn the offense, new environment.
I think it's always tricky going to a new place and just getting familiar with the environment. I think as time went on, I felt more like myself, more comfortable. And the season's full of up and downs, but it's all about how you handle it. So I think I handled last season the best way I could. I'm just looking forward to this year.
Do you see this season as just a large opportunity because there's been a lot of departures and you're standing there as someone who has experience from last year?
Most definitely. I think that whatever opportunity I'm given, I just got to do my job and take the best of that opportunity and make it what I can.
What did you take away from last season that helps you prepare for this one?
Going through, the first couple of years of college football, you always learn something. Last year, I kind of just learned that you just got to keep pushing. You're going to go through rough stretches, you're going to go through hard times, but you just got to keep pushing. You got to learn from it, you got to apply it to the guys that come in because they weren't here last season. So they don't know what we went through, they don't know what we felt. So I think it's very important that you take that and you learn from it, and you also tell the young guys, like, hey, look, this is what we went through last year, so we coming in here, we're not joking around, we're getting to it, we have work to get done, we have games to win.
Who are you with, Dennis Simmons or Chad Savage?
Chad Savage.
Can you just talk about him and your impressions of him early on here?
So Chad Savage just got here. I had heard of him due to his recruiting. I guess when I was coming out of high school, I think me and him had a couple conversations back and forth. But he's been good. He's came in and kind of implemented what he wants his room to resemble on the field, which is hard work and getting 1% better every day in details and technicality within our routes. He's done a great job.
Is there anything specific that he really wants to focus hard on during the spring with you and the receivers?
I haven't met with him individually. I'm sure as we get these couple practices going, he'll have an idea of kind of what my weaknesses and strengths are. But overall, as a room, I think he's just is aiming for us to be as consistent and technical as possible.
What's your relationship like with Jaden? I noticed last year you were kind of one of the first guys to stay after practice with him after he became the starter.
Me and Jaden have a good relationship. I talk to him all the time about like, hey man, this is your team, and this was following all the way back to last year when he was given the job. So he's really grown into that role and embraced it, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year.
So you've seen him be more vocal as a leader this offseason?
Most definitely. He's made it an emphasis to let his voice be heard and his presence be felt.
What were winter workouts like this offseason?
They were good. We had some good work. It was fun, which is how it's supposed to be. We have spring teams and in-dog. And, just going through that together with all the freshmen and the guys that are returning, it really makes the team stronger. So that was fun. I'm glad that we went through that together.
How much of that is a bonding element when it's a new roster and a new year?
It's 100% all bonding, especially with the transfer portal nowadays. You got new guys coming in and out left and right. So it's important to have that team chemistry because oftentimes when you do have transfers, the identity within the school can be lost within that, and also the chemistry can not be as strong. But I think, USC is doing a good job of making sure that the guys that do come in, they know what USC is about, and they make it an emphasis to have team chemistry.
You guys lost a bunch of devastatingly close losses last year.
Right.
What were the conversations like this offseason to turn those close losses into victories?
I mean, a lot of it was just self-reflection. When you watch the tape, it comes down to a couple of plays. So that just shows you kind of how close we are as a team. And that ultimately just motivates us as a team. When you see how close you are, and then you add new additions to the roster that are also just as talented, it's kind of an exciting feeling that you have, knowing that you were that close and now you have more firepower and you've done a self-reflection from the past season. So I think there's a lot to look forward to this year, but at the same time, today was just day one, and there's a whole off-season and a fall camp and a spring to go through. So day by day is how we'll take it.
What was the challenge for you last year? Maybe not having as big of a role as maybe you wanted to, and just having to kind of wait and come back this year and try and get more?
I think as a player, everybody feels like, their role should be X, Y, and Z, whatever that is to them. But ultimately, I just give it all to God, and He was able to guide me through it. And I don't ask any questions, but everything happens for a reason. So, I embraced what happened last year, and I did my job as a teammate, came in and worked every day. So I'm just looking forward to keep doing that.
give you the confidence to come back and fight for that spot this year?
Just knowing who I am as a player, and the staff believing in me, the players believing in me, the relationships that I made here, and also getting a degree from USC is top notch. So who wouldn't want to have that? And that is all the reason more why I should come back and prove myself again.
One more.
We've heard that Jaden's been more vocal. In what ways have you seen him be different or looser this year?
Just having more demand and command within the offense and workouts. You know, if it's guys who feel like the energy's low, come on, let's go pick it up. You know, which is something that that's not easy for everybody. Some guys are more just hey, I'm gonna do the right thing and you follow me. But him being a quarterback and kind of embracing that and taking this team and turning it into what we want to be, which is a championship team. He's done a great job.
Thank you.